So it happened. You just inherited a significant amount of money. And while this should feel like a blessing, let's be honest, it might feel more like a 10-ton weight. So let's walk through 5 crucial steps to handle your inheritance without screwing it up. Step 1. Pause and breathe. It's just the art of doing nothing. The single biggest mistake you can make with inheritance is to do anything too quickly. You're grieving, you're exhausted. This is not, and I repeat, not the time to be making life-altering financial decisions. Your head is in a fog, and financial predators can smell that a mile away. So can that well-meaning cousin who has a can't-miss idea for investing your money wait? Yes. Your first important move is strategic inaction. For the first 3, 6, maybe even 12 months, your only job is to protect the money. Don't quit your job, don't buy a Ferrari, don't pay off your 2% mortgage when inflation is running hotter. Instead, park the cash somewhere boringly safe. Think a high-yield savings account or a few short-term GICs. It's accessible, it's secure, and most importantly, it buys you time. This pause isn't procrastination. It's a mandatory cooling off period. It simply lets the emotional dust settle so you can think clearly. I once had a client who inherited a large sum from his mother. The day after the funeral, his cousin was on the phone pitching him on a restaurant franchise that was a sure thing. Grieving and feeling desperate and need to do something positive, he almost wired the money. He paused. He waited 6 months. In that time, the sure thing went bankrupt. That pause saved his entire inheritance. Step 2, assemble your A-team. A serious inheritance is not a DIY project. You wouldn't perform your own root canal, so don't try to perform your own financial surgery. Trying to go at it alone to save a few bucks is a classic blunder that almost always costs you far more in the long run. You need a team of professionals, specialists who have a duty of care and obligation to act in your best interest. This is your A-team, and it has 3 essential players. First, your wealth advisor. This is your quarterback. They're the one who looks at the whole picture, the inheritance, your current finances, your goals, your family, and helps you build a comprehensive game plan. They see the forest when you can only see the trees. Second is the estate lawyer. This is your legal specialist. They'll help you navigate the will or trust, handle the probate process, ensure all the assets are titled correctly. If the estate has any complexity, like a trust or business assets, a lawyer is non-negotiable. And third, your chartered professional accountant. Taxes can absolutely decimate inheritance if you're not careful. The CPA is your tax guru. They'll help you understand the tax hit of each asset and devise a strategy to minimize the bite, especially on the final tax return for the deceased. Yes, this team costs money, but their fees are an investment. They are your defense against 3 things that sink inheritances: bad decisions, taxes, and legal challenges. Step 3, understand exactly what you've inherited. Not all money is created equal in Canada, and while there is no inheritance tax, the way assets are treated at death can have huge tax consequences. Before you make a plan, you and your team need to inventory everything and get a handle on what you're dealing with. Sure, you might inherit cash, which is simple, but more often it's a mix of things: real estate and stocks. In Canada, we have a deemed disposition on death. This means the government considers all capital property to have been sold at its fair market value right before death. The tax on any capital gain is paid by the estate on the deceased's final tax return. A huge advantage is the principal residence exemption, which can shelter the family home from this tax. For other assets like a cottage or a stock portfolio, the estate pays the tax and you inherit the assets at its new higher value. For RSPs or RIFs, this is a big one for Gen X inheriting from boomer parents. Generally, the entire value of a registered retirement savings plan, registered retirement income fund is taxed as income on the deceased's final tax return. This can create a massive tax bill for the estate. The major exception is a tax-deferred rollover to a surviving spouse or common law partner. Another asset you might inherit is a tax-free savings account, which, as the name implies, can typically be transferred to a beneficiary tax-free. Assets and trust. If you're a trust beneficiary, you don't own the assets directly. The trust does. You have to play by the rules in the trust document. It might say you only get the investment income, or you receive chunks of cash at certain ages. Your lawyer is key to understanding your rights and the trustee's obligations. Always consult a qualified tax professional or estate lawyer before making decisions. Step 4, create your personal financial blueprint. Until now, this money was about your parents. It was a reflection of their hard work and their dreams. Now it's yours. And the most important question you have to ask yourself is, what do I want my life to look like? This is where you stop playing defense and start playing offense. You have to build a financial plan that aligns this new capital with your goals. This is your shot to change the entire trajectory of your financial life. Please don't just let the money dissolve into your checking account and get frittered away on random lifestyle upgrades. Start with the big questions. Do you want to retire 5 years earlier? Do you dream of paying off the house and being completely debt-free? Do you want to fund your kids or grandkids' college education? Is there a charity you're passionate about that you can now support in a major way? Just because you inherited a rental property doesn't mean you're doomed to be a landlord for 20 years. Maybe selling it and putting the cash in a portfolio is a better fit for your life and your goals. This is about consciously designing your future, not just passively accepting what you've been given. This blueprint, built with your wealth advisor, is your roadmap. It turns a windfall into generational wealth. Step 5, navigate the family minefield. This is usually the hardest part. It's not about spreadsheets. It's about people. Money doesn't create family drama, but it's like rocket fuel for any dysfunction that's already simmering. Inheritance fights are legendary for tearing families apart, and it's a tragedy that completely undoes the legacy your parents wanted to leave. Your job is to be calm, communicative, and firm. Here are a few tactics. First, communicate the process, not the number. You can tell your siblings, I've hired a team to help manage this responsibly. It's a complicated process, and they've advised me to take my time to do it right. This shows you're being thoughtful without opening up the books to everyone. Second, have a script ready for the ask, and it's coming. A friend or family member will approach you with a story or a guaranteed business idea. You need a polite but firm response ready to go. Try something like, I really appreciate you thinking of me and sharing that, but right now, everything is tied up in the estate process, and my advisors have put a strict freeze on any financial moves until we have a formal plan. I have to respect that process. And third, if the will isn't equal, brace for impact. It will stir up powerful emotion. Siblings might feel it's a scorecard of who was loved most. It's critical to listen with empathy, but hold firm to the legal reality. You can say, I hear you. I understand this is incredibly painful. This is what mom and dad laid out, and I'm legally and morally obligated to follow their wishes. Suggesting a family mediator can sometimes help create a neutral space for those tough conversations. Preserving your family relationships is maybe the greatest way to honor your parents' memory. Handling an inheritance is one of the most challenging things you'll ever do, financially and emotionally. If you're feeling overwhelmed and want a professional team to help you build that blueprint and get through those difficult conversations, click the link in the description. You can schedule a no-obligation chat with our team. We can help protect your inheritance and your family. This inheritance is a final gift, a reflection of your parents' love and hard work. It's both a huge opportunity and a profound responsibility. By taking these deliberate, thoughtful steps, you're not just protecting the money, you're honoring their memory, securing your own future, and building a legacy that lasts. You got this.